Okay, fourth graders, our next lesson is 3-3, the distributive property. And I really like to talk about these properties like in a context of a story. So distributive is kind of like when you're distributing things out. Like in class, when I distribute papers, I have a stack of papers and I give a paper to each child. So I take one, I have one, and I give it to each kid and I pass it out. So the distributive property, they want you to use place value, like when you use a place value table. And then the property of operations, that is the distributive property, to multiply bigger numbers. So in third grade, you learned your basic multiplication facts, but now we're taking a step up because this is fourth grade and we're going to be multiplying these bigger numbers. So when I take my notes, I like to try to be funny so that way I can get you guys to remember what we're talking about. So because we're talking about properties, I like to connect that to like maybe like an old person, like Monster House, if you've seen it, and they say, "Get off my property." Okay, so we're talking about the distributive property today. So I'm going to put a box around this so we know how important it is. We're talking about the distributive property. And then I'm going to give you an example of what that distributive property looks like. So like I said, in the distributive property, it's like passing out papers. Everybody's going to get one. So here's me, and I'm going to start passing out papers. So here is Miss Leon distributing or passing out the papers to all of her students. Each kid gets one. So how are we going to connect this to math now? So my math problem will be 6 times 1,842. So I need to distribute this 6 to each place. So I'm passing out the 6 here. I'm passing it out here. I'm passing it out here. And I'm passing it out here to each place. So then I put my equal sign here, and then I'm going to write down what that will look like. That looks like 6 times, and I'm going to put this number in expanded form, 1,000, because there's a 1 in the thousands place, 800, 40, and 2. I have expanded this number into expanded form. So I'm putting this in a picture format so you can see it in the area. The 6 goes right here. And I'm going to break it up, like I said, by place value. I have 1,000. I have 800. I have 40. And I have 2, because there are 4 digits in this number, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 places. In this place, it's going to be 6 times 1,000. And I'm going to shade that red because I'm using that red for that number. In this place, it's going to be 6 times 800. I'm going to shade that purple because I'm using purple for that space. This is going to be 6 times 40. Shade that blue. And then this is going to be 6 times 2. And I'll shade that green. So now I'm going to do all 4 of these multiplication problems to help me find my answer. Again, the reason why we're doing this is because of place value. You guys need to be able to remember that this is 6,000. So 6 times 1,000. This is the 8 in the hundreds place, so 6 times 800. This is 6 in the tens place, which is 6 times 40. And then 6 times 2 in the ones place is 6 times 2. So 6 times 1,000, there's basic math facts. 6 times 1 is 6 with 3 zeros in the back is 6,000. 6 times 8, the basic math fact, that's 48, plus 2 zeros on the back, 4,800. Then 6 times 40, your basic math fact is 6 times 4, which is 24 with the 0 on the back, 240. And then 6 times 2, which is 12. So these are all partial products. That means they're part of the real big answer, the big product. So this is just part of it, partial product. So now I'm going to add those together. So when I add all those partial products together, I get the product, the full product of 11,052. Let's go ahead and practice this distributive property of multiplication using place value.